Hi all, welcome back to System Verilog sessions. In this video, I'm going to discuss about System Verilog assertions. So in this video, we will see what is assertion, what are the advantages of using assertion, what are assertion statements and types of assertions. Okay, so let's see what is assertion. Assertions are statements that check if a certain condition or property holds true during the simulation. If the condition fails, they report an error or warning and can also be used in the functional coverage. So, assertions are statement which is used to specify the behavior of a system, and these assertions are primarily used to validate the behavior of a design. Okay, and it can also be used in the functional coverage. So, an assertion is nothing but a more concise representation of a functional checker. That means the system verilog assertions are powerful constructs that help us to verify the design behavior more efficiently than the traditional functional checker. Okay, because the functionality represented by an assertion can also be written as a system verilog task or checker that involves more line of code. So whatever the conditions or property we are checking through the assertion statements can be written as a system verilog task or checker. Then what is the difference between these assertions and checkers? So this checker involves procedural code. Okay, so we can write the same properties or conditions in checker. Okay, this is a checker is also one construct, but the difference is it involves more line of code compared to assertions. This task or checkers involves more line of code. For example, here you can see always at passage clock. Here I have a condition. If not of enable and not reset, then this display statement will be executed. So this is one condition we are checking through the procedural code, task or checker. Okay, you can say this is some code inside the checker. The same thing can be achieved through assertions. So how you can see assert property at passage clock. Here is the condition. So this assert is a statement. We will see the syntax in the coming slides, but here I'm just showing you how assertions involve less number of line compared to the checker or system verilog task. Okay, assert property at passage clock, enable and not reset. This is the condition, and here is the else part. So this is not mandatory. Okay, if this condition fails, the tool will automatically generate the error message. So no need to provide this else. So if you want the particular statement to be printed in a else statement, then you can provide this. Otherwise, if this condition fails, then the tool automatically provides the error message. Okay, so this is the single statement, right? Single line of code. But here it involves 5 line of code. So the same condition or behavior we are checking through the assertion. So we can also write the same condition in this way: assert property at passage clock, disable if, reset, enable. So I'll explain everything in coming slides. So this is just the example to show you how assertions are more concise representation of a functional checker. Okay, so the same functionality can be represented by an assertion also and by system verilog task or checker also. But the difference between this assertion and the checker is checker involves more line of code. Checker or system verilog task involves more line of code, but assertion is simple and concise. Okay, it's a concise representation of a functional checker. So there are many advantages of using assertions. So we will see in the next slide. So now we will see the advantages of using assertions. So we know that the same functionality can be specified and verified through assertions as well as by using system verilog task or functional checkers. Then what are the advantages of using assertions over these functional checkers or system verilog task? We will see one by one. Okay. So the first point is more concise and readable. Assertions reduce boilerplate code and express design intent clearly. In the last slide you have seen, right, in a single statement we have specified the condition. So this is more concise and readable. And these assertions reduce boilerplate code. Boilerplate code in the sense the section of code which is repeated multiple times with or without modifications. Okay, so we don't have to repeat the same line of code. So it reduces the boilerplate code and express design intent clearly. And the next point is it checks design specification and reports error or warnings in case of failure. We don't have to provide the error statement. So if you don't provide the error statement also, it will report an error or warnings in case of failure. So automatically validates the expected behavior and flags violations. And the next point is better debugging and error reporting. So it provides simulation time failure details like timestamp, hierarchy and waveform highlighting. So it visually marks the signal transitions or time intervals where an assertion passes or fails in the simulation waveform. Okay, it helps us to debug by showing the exact points of interest directly in the waveform. So it will be helpful for better debugging. And the next point is built-in temporal checks. So temporal term indicates time. Okay, so sequences over time. So it natively supports time-based conditions without manual coding. That means if you are writing the condition that are evaluated over a time and runs parallelly with the design logic and which typically uses the clock edges to trigger the evaluation, then these assertions natively supports time-based conditions. Okay, you don't have to provide the delay or add passage clock like that for every time. It supports time-based conditions like these three operators you can see here, right? So these are available in system verilog assertion. So you don't have to provide long delays. Like if you want to wait for 5 clock cycles, then you don't have to write repeat 5 at passage clock like that. Okay, so you can directly use these operators with delay values. Okay, so this built-in temporal checks are available in system verilog assertions, and it can be reused across verification test bench or design. That means assertions properties can accept variables to create reusable and configurable checks. And the next point is formal verification support. So assertions can be proven mathematically with formal tools by using Jasper Gold or VC Formal. So these are all the tools where we perform the formal verification. That means assertions can be mathematically proven. Okay. And the next point is functional coverage integration. So cover property tracks scenario occurrence without additional test bench code. So we can perform the functional coverage by using assertions. We will see in the coming slides. Okay, and it can be turned on or off based on the requirement. We can turn on or off the assertions based on the requirement. Okay, so runtime control via assert on, assert off, or compile time if def. So by using this, we can turn on or off the assertions, and it can be parameterized. So modular properties can be instantiated in multiple modules or test benches. So we can include the conditions in the properties, and that properties can be instantiated in multiple modules or test benches. Okay, so these are all the advantages of using assertions. So now we will see assertion statements. An assertion appears as an assertion statement that states the verification function to be performed. So what is this assertion statement? This assertion statement states the verification function to be performed. That means we can define and verify the design functionality by using assertion statements. So there are 4 assertion statements: assert, assume, cover, and restrict. And in this video, I'll be focusing more on assert statements. Okay, so we'll see one by one. First one is assert statement. Assert statement is used to specify the property as an obligation for the design that is to be checked to verify that the property holds. That means this assert statement is used to specify the properties that must hold true in the design. Okay, so we use this assert statements to define the property, or you can say expression. Okay, so we use this assert statement to define the property that must hold true in the design. Okay, and the verification tool checks that this assert statement or properties are never violated during the simulation. So during the simulation, if the assert statement fails, then it will report the error. So we will discuss more about assert statements in coming slides. Okay, so the next one is assume statement. Assume statement is used to specify the property as an assumption for the environment. So simulators check that property holds, while the formal tools use the information to generate the input stimulus. So this assume statement will be used in the formal verification. Okay, so what is this formal verification? Formal verification means it's a method of verifying the correctness of the design by using the mathematical techniques. So instead of simulating with the test vectors, it uses the formal methods to prove that the design satisfies the certain properties under the given constraints. So this formal verification mathematically proves that the design behaves correctly under all possible inputs and from all reachable states. Okay, and these inputs will be constrained by the assumptions, assume statements. So these assume statements are used to specify the property as an assumption for the environment in the sense like input side. Okay, so it will provide the constraint to the inputs. So these assume statements are used to specify the environmental constraints or assumption about the input behavior. Okay, and this assume statement behaves like assert statements in the simulation. Okay, so simulators check that property holds, while formal tools use this information to generate the input stimulus. So in the formal verification, these assume statements are used to constrain the input space. Okay, used to constrain the input behavior. But if you are using in the simulation, then this assume statement will act as a assert statement. Okay, and the next one is cover. Cover statement is used to monitor the property evaluation for coverage. So as the name suggests, this cover statement is used to monitor the property evaluation for coverage. So to track the property evaluation, we can use the cover statement. Okay, so what this cover statement will do? This cover statement evaluates the Boolean expression and tracks how many times the expression is evaluated, how many times the expression evaluates to true. Okay, so these things will be covered by using cover statement. And the next one is restrict. So restrict statement is used to specify the property as a constraint on formal verification computations. Simulators do not check the property. So that means This restrict statement will be used in the formal verification. Okay, this assume, restrict, these statements are used in the formal verification. And what this statement will do, it specifies the property as a constraint on formal verification computation. That means it provides the constraint that limit the formal analysis space. And this restrict statement will not act as a assert statement in the simulation. Okay, so here I told you, right, assume statement will act as a assert statement in the simulation. That means simulators check that property holds. So here simulators do not check the property. That means these statements only affect the formal tools, not the simulations. Okay, so these are all the 4 assertion statements: assert, assume, cover, and restrict. And I'll be explaining more about assert statements in the coming slides. Okay, so now we will see severity system task in the action block. So severity system tasks are nothing but printing statements. Okay, the information about the assertion failure can be printed using severity system task. So let's see all the severity system tasks one by one. Okay, so the first one is $fatal. $fatal is a runtime fatal, and when this $fatal executed, it terminates the simulation, right? And the second one is $error. $error is a runtime error and it stops the simulation. When the $error is executed, it stops the simulation and it will report the error. And the next one is $warning. $warning is a runtime warning. It just report the warning and it does not stop the simulation. And the last one is $info. $info indicates that assertion failure carries no specific severity. So it's just the info statement. So now we'll see the example. Here I have 3 examples. Okay, assert A, assert B, assert C. So these are all the assertion names. You can provide any name here. Okay, this is the user defined name: assert A, assert B, assert C. And this is the assertion statement. And inside the parenthesis we have a expression. Okay, so this is called action block. This info else. This is called action block. So what is this action block? The action block of an assert or assume statement specifies what actions are taken upon success or failure of the assertion. Okay, so if the assertion passes, if this expression evaluates to true, then this statement will be executed, this info. So the statement associated with the success is the first statement and the statement associated with the failure is the second statement. Okay, so this is the pass statement and this is the fail statement. And in the second example, assert B else $error failed. So here I have not used the pass statement. I have only specified the failure statement, right? So this pass or failure statements are optional. Okay, so if you want, you can provide, otherwise it's not a mandatory. And in the third example, assert C info passed and else, here you can see I have used the begin and end. You can provide like this. Okay, you can use begin and end and you can insert the logic or any statements inside the begin and end. Okay, so this is also possible. And if you are not providing the pass or failure statement, then the default error message will be reported when the assertion fails. Okay, so this is all about the severity system task in the action block. And next we will see the types of assertions. So now we will see the types of assertions. There are mainly 2 types of assertions: immediate assertions and concurrent assertions. And in immediate assertions, we have 2 types: simple immediate assertion and deferred immediate assertion. And again in deferred immediate assertion, we have 2 types: observed deferred immediate assertion and final deferred immediate assertions. So in this video, I'll give a short introduction to immediate assertions. Okay, in the next video, we will discuss more about immediate assertions. But here I'll give a simple introduction to immediate assertions. So immediate assertion statement is a test of an expression performed when the statement is executed in the procedural code. So procedural code is nothing but your always block or task or functions. Okay, so we will write these immediate assertions inside the procedural code. So these immediate assertions are procedural checks that execute when the code reaches them during the simulation. Okay, so the expression is non-temporal and is interpreted the same way as an expression in the condition of a procedural if statement. These immediate assertions are non-temporal. Non-temporal means it's not depending on the time. Okay, so temporal term indicates that time, it's related to time. Okay, but immediate assertions are non-temporal. That means it's not associated with the time. Okay, so these immediate assertions evaluate non-temporal conditions. That is nothing but it evaluates instantaneous conditions. And these assertions interpreted the same way as an expression in the condition of a procedural if statement. So these immediate assertions are same as if statement, because in if statement also we will check the condition, right? So if the condition evaluates true, true block will be executed. If it is false, false block will be executed. In the same way immediate assertion works. Okay, so if the expression evaluates to x, z or 0, then it is interpreted as being false and the assertion statement is said to fail. Otherwise, if the expression interpreted as being true, that means if the expression evaluates to 1, then the assertion statement is said to be passed. Okay, then what is the difference between simple and deferred immediate assertions? In a simple immediate assertion, pass and fail actions take place immediately upon assertion evaluation. So when the immediate assertion is evaluated, this pass and fail actions will take place immediately. Okay, so the action block will be executed immediately when the assertion is evaluated. But in the deferred immediate assertions, this pass and fail actions will not take place immediately. Okay, so here the assertion statement will be evaluated immediately, but the actions are delayed until the later in the time step. At the end of the time step, this pass or fail statement will be reported. So by doing that, it provides some level of protection against the unintended multiple executions on transient or glitch values. That means this prevents multiple executions due to the glitches in the combinational logic. So here the pass or fail statement will be reported at the end of the time step. Okay, so this is just a simple difference between simple and deferred immediate assertion. We will discuss more about this immediate assertions in the next video with examples. Okay, till then stay tuned. Thank you.